So hello, and how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I am the Realist Philosopher, and in this video, I wanted to talk about this recent posting by Cosmic Verse about prenups and how women are refusing to sign them. By the way, that's a red flag right there. If a woman refuses to sign a prenup, that essentially means that she's just after your money and isn't all that much interested in you as a person. Anyway, let's just jump right into this, shall we? And by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That's the only way you're going to be notified, because YouTube has heavy algorithmic suppression of my channel. And also, check the description. Please consider making a donation to my GoFundMe. Recently had a major health scare. Nearly went bye-bye from this mortal sphere, so I could really use your help. Find out what that's about. Click on the GoFundMe link. Anyway, let's get into this video, shall we?
Would you ever sign a prenup?
Yeah.
What if he was a multimillionaire?
In that case, no.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon, and here's why.
Is this a prenup?
I don't want you to freak out. I'll be right back.
A woman that feels entitled to your money isn't a woman you want to marry. She's got other plans.
Here's why I think prenup should be mandatory.
Is asking to sign a prenup considered insulting, and if so, why?
Yeah, because you got a preconception that the relationship's not going to be working.
My boyfriend asked for a prenup, and I feel offended and sad. What would you do?
Feelings are irrelevant. Marriage is a man's biggest decision. Protect yourself at all times. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
If someone is a millionaire and successful for years before they met their partner, and their partner is like a minimum wage worker, I do think it's valid, man or woman with the money, to request a prenup to protect their legacy.
I am just a woman. I just want you to text me and say, hey, I miss you. I've been thinking about you and I want to see you. Let me come see you. You bring light into my soul. Is that too much to ask? A little bit of romance. I've been romanticizing my life forever. I'm tired.
What's with the fake accent?
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon, and here's why. A man
Anybody think this chick can run?
who wants you to sign a prenup just says that he's preparing for the worst. Preparing for in case it doesn't work out, I want you to have nothing. It also says, I don't trust you. I don't believe that you really want me and love me for me. It says, I believe you only want me from what you can financially gain. Another reason why you don't want to sign one of these things is simply because if he wants you to sign one, he's more than likely not going to give it his all. He's more than likely going to be ready to walk out of that door every time something hits the fan.
You mean like you are incentivized to walk out the door and can leave at any time because you're incentivized to? Meanwhile, if he's got the prenup, he's still completely protected, so he can do that. I see. You don't want the man to have that capability. So much for equality, ladies.
Tell me, what do men gain from being married that's worth losing half their stuff over? Fellas, she is the reason why you should always get a prenup.
By the way, didn't you find that interesting? She said, he wants you to walk away with nothing. You mean exactly what you came into the relationship with? So you just admitted right there that you're there to get something out of it, and you wonder why men want women to sign prenups. Yeah.
If someone already has money and they get married, that is their money, not yours. Sign it, or I will lace your shoes up for you so you can run. Women file for divorce 70% of the time. Don't let precious take your money.
Isn't it more like 80%? And if we're talking about women that have graduated university, it's something like 90%?
She can have what's in the refrigerator, not the bank account. If a man asks his woman to sign a prenup and she refuses, he should start running. I don't know where she got the idea that asking for a prenup means he's preparing for the worst, but that's simply not true. A man requesting a prenup is not doubting the relationship. He's just protecting himself in case things go south. In today's world, with the way modern relationships are, it's almost foolish not to consider protecting your assets.
Yeah, I don't understand this. So that's like saying if I learn how to defend myself, it means that I'm not only expecting to get into a fight or be attacked, but I want to. No, I'm just taking common sense precautions in case the worst happens. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Modern women aren't like the women of the past. Nowadays, there are far too many women who are on the hunt for the man with the biggest wallet they can find, and the moment they secure that, their motives come into question. It's not about love anymore, it's about what he can provide. A man has to be cautious because if the relationship doesn't work out, the legal system is still heavily skewed in favor of women, and that could mean losing half of everything he's built, or more.
Here's why women regret divorce more than men. Financially speaking, women's lives get worse after the divorce, while men's get better. The standard of living for women goes down.
Isn't that interesting, by the way? When he gets rid of her, his finances get better, which, by the way, I'm not so sure that's true. I don't know how many men I've talked to who are living in shoeboxes. This sounds like a bunch of crap to me. This is total nonsense. What are you talking about? She hits the lottery, yo! Are you kidding me? He's living in a shoebox, paying alimony and child support because she automatically gets the kids unless she's like some kind of a crackhead serial killer. Meanwhile, he's contemplating self-deletion. So what are you talking about?
An average of 27%, while the standard of living for men goes up 10%. So you can see why women may feel that their lives get worse after divorce because their standards of living go down while their ex-husband's standard of living goes up.
I think they must have cherry-picked the men that they surveyed because, like I said, the majority of men I've talked to, it's the exact opposite of what she's talking about.
Is this a prenup?
I don't want you to freak out. I'll be right back. I'm gonna call my mom. Just read it over, okay? Just have an open mind.
You okay? Hey, we're getting married this week. I'm in shock right now. Like, this cannot be normal, right?
It's a tough situation.
It's the week of our wedding.
Call your mom.
Call my mom. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Wow.
Hey, just sign it. We're talking about so much money.
This looks like duress to me. Then they've got it on video too. The week before the wedding, there's all this pressure. There's a timeline. He's pressuring her. There's the pressure of the date coming up for the wedding. This prenup would be thrown out in most courts.
Eric, I understand that, but this is the week of our wedding.
Look, you're either gonna sign it or you're not gonna sign it. Like, this is ridiculous that you're not even thinking about me. No, this absolutely ridiculous.
What is this?
Hey, the wedding's off.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
This is fake.
I really appreciate it.
Didn't know him to act like that.
He's never done anything like this. I'm gonna go get a tissue from the bathroom, okay? I'll be right back.
This is fake.
She's crying because if she signs it, she gets no money from it. Good man, well done. These women are cold.
Did that seem like reality TV BS to you? I don't know if that was real or not. But if it was, yeah, you don't marry that woman even if she signs the prenup because she would say it was under duress.
Protect yourself. I would highly recommend not to get married. It really is not worth the risk. Women will ruin your life and will take everything from you. Any girl who refuses to sign a prenup or makes a big deal over it is a red flag. If women don't care about the money, they wouldn't mind signing it. If the relationship is truly built on love, he'll make sure you're good, even through divorce. If you paid attention, she didn't even bother reading the prenup. Maybe it was a little surprise for her since he presented it a week before their wedding, but overall, that man made the right call. There's no reason why this woman should be crying because he asked her to sign a prenup. One thing you always see in these cases is that the woman always gets comforted, while the man gets to look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't think you should get a prenup if you're getting married. Because what are you preparing for? Why are you preparing for it not to work? So
You're preparing for the worst. It's just common sense. It's like it's a cloudy day, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain, but it could always rain, so you've got an umbrella in your car. Not because you want it to rain, or you expect it's going to rain, you think it's going to rain, but just to be safe.
prenup is basically documents saying, if we don't work out, you can't take my money, I can't take yours.
Right.
But why is there a if we break up before you even get married?
Because the vast majority of marriages end in divorce, you momo.
You know what I mean? Why are you thinking if we? Do you not think it will work? Like, what is it? Because it's not screaming 100% trust. It's screaming, I have...
Well, now, wait a second. Aren't you saying the exact same thing when you refuse to sign? I love it. Oh, well, I expect to be with you forever. Well, then you'd have no problem signing, right? Lack of self-awareness is shocking.
a backup plan just in case. But just in case what? Just in case what? Should a prenup be a thing if you trust your person and you know for sure this is who I want to marry?
The only thing this screams is that this woman is naive when it comes to understanding what a prenup is really about. She claims it's preparing for the marriage not to work, which is completely false. A prenup is not an indication that you're walking into a marriage expecting it to fail. It's about being responsible and protecting both parties should the unexpected happen. You may love your partner in the moment, but what about later on, 20 years into the marriage? People change and feelings change. What if one party wants to leave the marriage for whatever reason? You have to protect yourself if that time were ever to come. The reality is, modern relationships are more fragile than ever, with divorce rates still high and many marriages falling apart for reasons that didn't exist in the past. Women who resist signing a prenup often don't understand that it's about fairness and security, not about mistrust.
I love how many.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of akin to saying when you get in a car, say you have a passenger sitting beside you, and before you start driving, you put your seatbelt on. This is akin to your passenger saying, "Hey, why are you putting your seatbelt on? Do you expect to get into an accident?" "No, I'm just being safe." Because anything could happen. I'm a good driver and all that, but anything could happen, right? Hailstorm could drop a piece of hail the size of a softball on the windshield, shatter it. Could have a crash. That for that reason, there could be a drunk driver out there. Could be an act of God. Any number of acts of God. You don't know.
Are like, I'd make you sign a prenup, and I'm like, what makes you think I'd even say yes?
Would you ever sign a prenup?
Yeah.
You would?
I absolutely would. I don't think I could do it without. I want to be able to decide where my assets go if we divorce.
What if he was a multimillionaire?
In that case, no. What? If it's to my advantage, then yes, absolutely a prenup.
So if he was richer than you wouldn't sign it?
Yeah, I guess. Guess I'm a hypocrite.
The double standard is glaring. But at least you have to respect the honesty. This modern woman is a perfect example of why a man must get a prenup when getting married, or better yet, maybe avoid getting married altogether. Her mindset perfectly highlights the problem. She's not interested in love, partnership, or building something together. What it really sounds like is that she's plotting for a big payday. These are the types of women who see marriage as a business transaction, looking for a quick and easy way to cash out on a man's hard work. At least she gave a warning, though.
Isn't that most Western women, though? Aren't they all looking at it as a business transaction, which is why they use terms like partner and partnership?
What she's basically saying is, don't marry me if you want to protect your assets, because my real goal is your money. She's a huge red flag.
So you're pro prenup?
Totally pro. Even if you're broke, I believe you should have one because you might have money later.
Thank you. Yes. 100%.
I mean, you know, we're all growing.
I felt the same way. So when I got married, I was like...
By the way, doesn't this whole being against a prenup go totally completely against the independent, strong woman, you go girl, boss babe, queen mentality that the vast majority of Western women seem to have? I mean, if you're so strong and so independent and you can take care of yourself, of course that begs the question, why do they want you to get married in the first place? We know why. But if that's the case, why do you need his money? If the case is you just want a man and it's not a matter of need, and you're always talking about it and expressing how strong and independent you are and wanting to throw that in everybody's faces at all hours of the day, every opportunity you get, then why would you have a problem with a prenup? In fact, I would think that you would be begging, pleading for a prenup so you can hold it up and say how strong and independent you are. I'm a boss babe, queen of all boss babes. Look, I insisted on a prenup. See how strong and independent I am? But for some reason, they don't do that.
25, 26, right? Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't have any assets. I had like $167 to my name. You know, my most valuable possession was like my CD collection. You know, I didn't have anything. And at the time, I didn't think about my future self.
Let me tell you what my husband says.
Right, that's another good point. You never know what you're going to have or when you're going to have it. So you should, of course, my solution is you just don't get married as a Western man and in the West. You get out. Go to a country that's a little more favorable, that treats men better. It should be almost anywhere outside the West.
He says that if a man asks you to sign a prenup, run. Because he's not a provider, like he's already keeping something from you and he's already in that mindset of like trying to protect himself.
It's probably easy for a man to say,
wanting to protect yourself. Oh, yeah. You're not a real man if you don't do what I want you to do. Yeah.
This if he's never been burned before in divorce. He's got his guard down. He doesn't realize potential loss he's staring at when he chooses to marry. And it's not about keeping things from you. It's about helping things along in the event of a divorce. I mean, you're already losing your partner. Emotional damage, there's just so much going on. Prenup can make things easier. It's not always about making sure that the other person doesn't get anything. It can be more about keeping things organized. And if the way divorces continue to go, most men will require a prenup. Otherwise, it makes no sense for them to get married. A man is not entitled to give you everything he's worked his ass off for his entire life. Especially because you could end up not being a good wife to him, cheat on him. You shouldn't lose everything after something like that.
Well, right, that's another thing. Where's the incentive for women to be good wives, good mothers, good carers, if you are the one providing, which is evermore not the case? How many, this is another problem, how many men are actually able to be the sole breadwinner in America? With the way things are now, not very many. You got to be a top tier dude in most places earning six figures to be able to do that. Now, there are some rundown places where a person doesn't need to make nearly that much, but also the ability, the level of income you can bring in those places tends to be on par with the cost of living, which is very low. So again, you got the same problem. In most places, a man bringing in one income cannot support a family, so they both have to work. So she's not really incentivized to do her duty as a woman, traditionally speaking. So again, yet another reason why you don't marry a Western broad.
If she runs because he asked for a prenup, he dodged a bullet. If you love is conditional from what I provide, then what I provide is conditional. No, he's a provider, and he wants to keep providing for himself if things don't work. Why should he have to give up what he worked for? Divorce courts paint women as the victim and destroy men and their lives. Better to have a prenuptial than lose your entire life. We men need to remember women are not forever. It's just your turn. Stay single and you will have a peaceful, drama-free life.
By the way, prenups are no good. This whole argument about even getting a prenup, it's based upon the belief that they're enforceable. They're not in the West. They're thrown out all the time. If a woman challenges one, she's likely to get it thrown out. All she's got to do is say, I signed it under duress. I mean, a lot of times that's a subjective metric. I felt pressured. I felt like he was pressuring me. And so I signed it, but I didn't mean it. I know I signed a contract, but I don't want to be held accountable so, my choice. So I was under duress, you see. Who's to say otherwise? You don't know what she's thinking. You don't know what she was feeling at the time. So, okay, out with the prenup. You're darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Saw this
as a man.
Woman say that she would not sign a prenup and she would not take a DNA test. And she felt like it was wrong of a man to ask that. And, my question is, aren't you a bit out of order telling your husband what he can and can't ask of you? But we don't want to have that conversation, do we? Seriously, because I thought, if you submit to your husband in all things, like, you say you do, why are you not submitting to his request for a prenup? It's much easier for men to go along with a woman's delusion than fight. And I think many times as women, we go through life never having someone say that we're just chatting a bunch of shit. Have you ever met a chick that truly believed she was something she wasn't? And that's what I see with these tradcon women. An example was on Twitter the other day.
Well, the thing is...
Yeah, you gotta avoid chicks that say they're tradcons. They're usually chameleons. Like this broad. She's a total grifter.
A man can ask for a prenup, and she has every right to say no. But that's exactly when the man should pack his bags and leave. A woman who refuses to sign a prenup, especially when the man is upfront about it, likely has a hidden motive. They're looking for a financial safety net. A prenup gets in the way of their plans.
By the way, if you expected the relationship to work out, which is what she's saying about the man, you wouldn't want there to be that possibility of a financial safety net, because that makes it easier to leave, and in fact, depending on how much the guy makes, incentivizes her to leave. So the very argument that the woman is making that he expects it not to work out is just projection and is actually what she is thinking.
And the refusal is a strong indicator that she's not there for the right reasons, but rather to see how much she can gain if things fall apart. Let's face it, a woman who truly loves and respects you for who you are would have no issue signing a prenup.
But women don't these days in the West love you for who and what you are, because they're taught by everything they see, by the government, by academia, by the media, to care only about things, material possessions, not the thing that is really used in a relationship as part of the transaction. There is a transactional, all relationships are transactional, okay? But in today's modern day and age, it's went from being things that are of real value that are supposed to be used in a relationship, that are the currency in a relationship, virtues and values, to things. So they're programmed from the get-go to not care about the things that actually have value within the context of a relationship. So no, they don't value you. They never will. They don't know how.
Because she's not there for your money.
Here's why I think prenup should be mandatory. A lot of people falsely think that doing a prenuptial agreement is a plan for a divorce, but it's totally contrary to that. A prenuptial agreement allows you and your partner to set the rules for a divorce if it should happen while you both are in love and on good terms. I know the conversation about a prenuptial agreement may be difficult to have, but it will save you and your partner in the future, and it may even save your marriage. A prenuptial agreement will help you and your partner later down the road.
See, that's one thing that people don't think about. That makes it more likely that she's going to stick around because there isn't that safety net. She doesn't have that extra incentive to leave. But again, this presupposes that prenups are enforceable in the West. They're really not.
And it'll save you money if you do end up in divorce. I've worked on thousands.
But she's a lawyer. They say there's all this nonsense about you should sign a prenup comes from lawyers, right? Because they get a big chunk of change to formulate, to create, to type up and make these tailored prenups. Even she really knows the truth deep down, but this is probably her bread and butter.
Of cases, and they could have ended much easier if the parties had a prenuptial agreement going into it.
You guys signed a prenup? Well, no, we have nothing of value to lose. And this is our second marriage each, so
Don't sign nothing.
My boyfriend asked for a prenup and I feel offended and sad. What would you do? What I did, my love, was sign a prenup. I knew my husband would want one, and I didn't even make him ask. Right after we got engaged, I said, I bet you want a prenup. And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, no problem. I have nothing against him wanting to ensure what...
Think that necklace is real? What is that, sapphires?
he has created for himself. And that's what a prenup is. It's just insurance. You having insurance on your car doesn't mean you're going to smash it into a pole. You having insurance on your house doesn't mean you're going to burn it down. And a couple having insurance on their assets doesn't mean they're headed for divorce. In today's world, it's okay to protect what you've created. It's okay to have insurance.
If you're a woman, it's okay.
This is exactly what a woman sounds like when she isn't after your money. She doesn't make a fuss.
Well, that, by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean she isn't after your money, right? It looks like she's well taken care of based on those clothes, that silk that she's wearing, and that necklace, which looks like a whole bunch of sapphires, yo.
About it, nor does she cry or throw a tantrum. She understands where her husband is coming from and respects his decision to protect his hard-earned.
No, she just knew that he wasn't going to marry her, and she was getting old, and she knew that that was her last chance to snag a halfway decent, high-value dude. So she went along. Smart move, sweetheart.
Assets. She knew he wanted a prenup and got it done.
And she knew, based on what she knew of him, that he wasn't going to marry her unless he had that.
No questions asked, because her priority is the relationship, not the paycheck. When a woman isn't in it for the money, the prenup doesn't faze her. She's not worried about what she can gain from a potential breakup, because her intentions are pure. She's there for love, partnership, and building a future together. If she respects you and what you've worked for, she'll understand that a prenup is just a safeguard for both of you, not an indication that the marriage is doomed. It's the women who make a big deal about it, who resist and complain that...
That's because it's really to protect men, not women. Women rarely have anything of value going into a marriage. That's why they get married.
Show their true colors. They're the ones more focused on what they can take from you rather than what they can build with you.
If you still think that getting a prenup has anything to do with the lack of trust in your partner, maybe you're mistaken, but that's okay because I didn't know this until I went to law school. So now I'm
she's a pick-me. Either that or she's trying to drum up business.
just going to share what I learned with you. And I'm really surprised this is not widespread knowledge because it should be. Getting a prenup actually has everything to do with the lack of trust in your government. And here's why. You can actually...
I wouldn't want this woman as my lawyer, by the way. If she feels the need to show that much cleavage to get business or get attention, she doesn't have much merit. Or she doesn't think she has much merit. If she did, she wouldn't need to draw your eyeballs in with all that cleavage showing and use that instead of merit to get your attention.
Compare a prenup to a will in the sense that you either draft your own will or the government will use the one that they already drafted. You feel me? In the same sense, it's not about whether you want a prenup or you don't want a prenup. It's a matter of which prenup do you want? The one that you drafted, that you agree with, that you think is fair? Or, in the instance of death or divorce, the one that the government already drafted? It's up to you. Now, if you think that your government will do an efficacious job at dividing your assets and making sure that your loved ones are provided for in the instance of death or divorce, then by all means, fuck a prenup. However, if you do experience some distrust in the way that the government does things and has done things through the course of your life, you should probably get a prenup.
She too handsy. This chick too handsy. She's too handsy, too much makeup, too many filters. Looks like she's had a nose job. The lips have been done. I don't like those fingernails, those fake eyelashes. The earrings are already too big. They're not gigantic you go girl ghetto trash earrings, but they're pretty bad. And this chick's a lawyer? This screams run to me, man. This chick screams pick me girl, chameleon. I don't live up to the standards that I profess to value. Yeah, run. Run from whatever legal services she offers and run from her relationship-wise as well.
You should probably get a prenup.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon. Y'all remember when I posted that video? Don't remember? Go back and watch it. And yes, I turned the comments off because the way y'all were trying to cook me in those comments was insane. And that's mainly because a lot of y'all don't have the intelligence to have a simple conversation without insulting someone. And that's okay. That's fine. I get it. However, since then, I talked to my fave, and he kind of gave me his perspective on why it makes sense to sign a prenup. And now that I have that understanding, I probably would consider signing it.
See, women are collectivists by nature. If they get enough pushback, if they get enough communal, if they get enough of popular pushback, if the majority of people in their eyes, if more people are saying nay than yay, they'll change their mind. Many of the beliefs that women have are based upon how much approval or disapproval they get from others. They're more communal, hive mind oriented, which is why, of course, they tend to gravitate toward communist, socialist ideologies.
However, I still think it's a sign of distrust. I said what I said, I'm not backing down, and it is what it is.
Well, damn, I thought.
I said it is what it is, I'm not backing down. You want to fight me? Yeah, you're way too masculine. Not to mention the fact you're bigger than most men.
She had finally came to her senses, but nonetheless, those comments were insulting you with facts, madam, and with the benefits of getting a prenup. Prenups aren't about not trusting your spouse or planning for divorce, like these women keep claiming. If they don't think prenups are important, then they might as well revoke their car insurance, right? After all, car insurance isn't about expecting to get into an accident. It's about being prepared for the unexpected. Life is unpredictable, and just like you wouldn't drive without insurance, you shouldn't enter a lifelong partnership without a safety net in place.
I'm going to end it on that note, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. Where I tend to disagree with him is that if a woman is okay with signing a prenup, that automatically means that it's not your money that she values, but you. Totally, completely disagree. Just because a woman is willing to sign a prenup doesn't mean that it's not your money that she's after. She just realizes that in many cases, she stumbled upon the perfect catch, and if she marries this guy, she's going to be comfortable, well taken care of, lap of luxury, beautiful sapphire necklaces, silk clothing, living in a lap of luxury in a penthouse. You know, she values your money, not you, but she's willing to sign the prenup to get access to that lifestyle. So this belief that a woman would sign a prenup means that she values you and not your money. That is wrong. Don't make that assumption. Don't base whether or not she cares about you and not your money on a prenup. But anyway, you should never sign a prenup. They're, in my eyes, totally, completely, 100% invalid in the West. It doesn't matter that you get her to sign it, because if she challenges it, the odds are very good that it's going to get thrown out of court. All she's got to do is claim duress, say bye-bye to the prenup, and, hello to losing all your assets. But anyway, let me know what you think. Is it still viable to marry a Western broad? So long as you take the, precaution of getting a useless prenup. Are they useless, as I'm saying they are in the West anyway? Or do they still have some validity based upon the state you're in, even though there's plenty of red so-called conservative states out there with loony, nutty, effeminist judges, which is actually probably the majority of judges, no matter what state you're in. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. Click a like, give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell because YouTube hates me and they won't tell you when I release a new video. Post a comment. I've heard it's good for the algorithm. Please consider making a donation. Check out my GoFundMe in the description. I nearly left this mortal coil recently, so I could really use your help. And on that note, I'm out of here. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.